والنساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اركعوا واسجدوا واعبدوا ربكم وافعلوا الخير لعلكم تفلحون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبي الرحمة محمد بن عبد الله الذي بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises due to our Lord Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. 2 weeks ago we were talking about tarbiyatul awlad, raising our kids in Islam. And today inshallah we're going to continue talking about that. What I'm going to talk about today is something very, very simple. And it's a very important part of our tarbiyah to our kids. Our work with our children is an essential part. But a lot of us believe it's difficult and some of us believe it's impossible. What I'm talking about, my dear brothers and sisters, is passing on the languages we speak as first languages to our children. Whether it's Arabic or Urdu, Pushto, Soninke, Mandingo, any language that we speak, we should transfer that to our children. And in the beginning, I want to talk about al-lughatul Arabiyyah, the Arabic language. And we all agree, and we all believe in the importance and the virtue of al-lughatul Arabiyyah, the Arabic language, which is the language of the Quran, the language of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the language of the Deen, the language that inshallah we will be speaking in Al-Jannah bi-idhn al-Mawla Azza wa Jalla. It is very, very, very important. But unfortunately, we have a lot of Arabs that their kids do not speak Arabic. The most they could do is that they can reply, they can understand what you're saying. They can understand what you're saying, but they cannot speak to you fluently in Arabic. They speak it very poorly. They cannot deliver it to you what they have in their brains because the parents are not working with them. Wallahi, my dear brothers and sisters, it's a shame and it's a pain when you have this great language, the language of the Quran, the language that the Arabs travel to Arabic countries, quit in what they do in their country. They go to Arabic countries to learn Arabic in order for them to understand the Quran, to strengthen their relationship with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And we already have it. All what we have to do, just transfer that to them by speaking to them very simple and easy. But we are not doing this. But this topic is not all just about Arabic language. Any language that you speak, you should transfer that to your children. As we know, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Surah Al-Rum, in the Quran Al-Kareem, He said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ اخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. One of the signs that proves the lordship of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is the different tongues that we have, different languages that we speak. This is one of the signs of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So any language you speak, regardless of what language is that, is something very, very, very important, and it's something very, very grateful, and you should transfer that to your children. Many of us believe that's impossible for many, many reasons. For many, many reasons, based on my experience talking to mothers and fathers in this community, in Sunday school, and also the evening classes we have in the masjid. Some of them, one of the reasons that made them or make them neglect teaching their kids their language. And in here I'm talking about especially those who come from Arabic countries. We know that in Arabic countries, speaking English is not a plus, it's double plus. By just speaking English, you could have a job. You will be admired by everybody because anyone who speaks English is someone who's educated because it is the language of the world. Anything in the media is in English. Anything that you wanted to go to all of the world, it has to be in English. So it's international language. And people in there, it's hard for them to learn it because English and Arabic do not belong to the same family language. So it's not easy for people in there to learn it. So when someone speaks it, people admire it. So when someone from such countries immigrate to the United States and come to America, and he's not speaking English, And then his kids started speaking. Let's say he come with the kids and they are 6 or 7. They always speak in Arabic and they don't know how to speak English. As they start going to school, they get to learn English quickly. They pick it up quickly. 1 year or a year and a half, 2 years, the kid is speaking English. So the father becomes proud of him, or the mother becomes proud of the child because he speaks English, which is the language that I admire, which is the language that the mother admires or the father admires. And if he takes him to his home country, he's proud of his child, he speaks English. But the reality is that worry about anything but English. For sure the kid is going to learn it. Most of his time is going to spend it in school, or playing with kids, or doing his homework, all of that in English. You do not have to worry about English. What you have to worry about is your language that he came with. Down the road, English is going to overcome that language he came to the States speaking. And English is going to dominate his brain. And he's going to be thinking in English, and everything he does it in English. And the Arabic language or whatever language he used to speak is going to be very weak. So do not worry about English. It's something that, alhamdulillah, you live in an English country. He's going to learn it for sure. He's going to learn it better than any language. If you teach him many, many languages, even if he's good at them, but he's going to speak English better because he's going to be using English more. So do not worry about English. Worry about your own language, Arabic or Pushto or whatever language that you speak. And I personally lived that. I personally lived that and understand this clearly because this happened to me. I was born and raised up in Saudi Arabia, but my family is originally from Nigeria, West Africa. In Saudi Arabia, the main language that everybody speaks is Arabic. So my parents didn't care about me speaking Arabic. For sure, I'm going to speak it. We go to school in the morning all the way to 2 o'clock. We come home, rest for 2 hours, go back to school from Salatul Asr all the way to Salatul Isha, memorize the Quran, and playing with the kids, spending most of our time speaking Arabic. So for sure, Arabic is going to be our first language. They don't have to worry about it. They worry about our African language, Hausa, which is the language that's spoken in Nigeria, Niger, Ghana, and other Western African countries. So I speak it at home. Alhamdulillah, I learn it very fluently. I speak it very well. I've never been in Nigeria. Last year I went, but I did not need a translator. My first time being in the country, I was able to talk to people and buy things and travel from a city to a city by myself, to another city by myself, not needing a translator to translate to me what people are saying. All of that by doing one thing, just speaking the language to me. So this is something simple and easy. English, don't worry about it. They're gonna speak it. Just worry about your own language. One of the reasons also that a lot of parents find as an excuse not to teach their kids Arabic or their own language, they tell you that when we speak to them, they talk to us in English. They don't want to speak our language. You make them speak it. You speak to them. When they talk to you, they do not know how to say it in Arabic, in Pushto, in Persian, in Mandingo, in any other Muslim language. Just teach them how to say it. They're gonna learn it. They're gonna learn it easily. When I used to live in Jersey, I had a friend who has a son that's just 7 years old. That child, mashallah, tabarakallah, speaks Arabic very, very well. And he speaks the Egyptian dialect because his father's from Egypt. But the father always speaks in that language to him. Whenever we're in the car driving, I'm talking to him. When the son asks a question, he's going to stop talking to me and immediately listen to his son and answer his son in details. Wallahi, the kid has so much information in his brain, to the extent that he asked me some names of some cars. I don't know it, but he knows it. He's just 6 or 7 because the father is continuously teaching him. So this is not an excuse. And some of the parents, they say, my wife is from a different culture. Or the wife says that my husband's from a different culture. That should not be an advantage. Should be an advantage. Wallahi, I know a kid that's maybe just 12 or 14 years. I don't know exactly how old he is. He speaks 4 languages. He's just 12. His mother is from Somalia and the father is from Uzbekistan. Okay? He speaks the Uzbek language, he speaks the Somalian language, and he speaks English for sure because he lives in the States. And then he speaks Arabic, and he speaks it fluently. How? The mother speaks Somalian to him, the father speaks Uzbek to him, or the Uzbek language to him. And then English, for sure, he's going to learn it. He goes to school in English. And then they had a program for him to learn Arabic. And wallahi al-azim, he speaks Arabic fluently. So this is not an excuse for anyone to say, I'm from a different culture. That's an advantage. So the child can know more languages. And some people believe that it's not important for him to learn my language because he lives in the US, and the US is an English country, and he doesn't have to be in my country. He doesn't have to go. He's just living in here. He just needs English. But if you have some kind of common sense, you will understand that language, or learning a new language, it's like having a new life. When you know a new language, you are introduced to a new world. New people, different thinking, different culture, different ways of doing things. And that's also going to give you the advantage to make the comparison between your culture and other cultures. When you speak other language, that language comes with the culture. This way you're going to make comparisons between what you do and what the other culture has. And this way you're going to find some gaps. And you're going to see how bad things we have in our culture because of knowing a different culture. And this is going to give you strength and give you deep understanding of the human brain. And you know how to deal with people. People think different and do things differently. And you are able to compare. The more languages you speak, the more cultures you know, and the more successful you become in terms of dealing with people and talking to people. In terms of dealing with people and talking to people. So it is very, 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 very important. It is very, very, very important. And also, at the same time, when you learn any Muslim language, even if it's not Arabic, if it's a Muslim language, it's a language that's spoken by Muslims, it's going to have some ideas and some things that are from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's going to be Muslim culture. So the kid speaking it, that's going to help him in his belief. That's going to make him feel that he belongs to Muslims. That's going to make him feel that he's a Muslim. He has his own unique identity. He belongs to people, which is Muslims. So this is very, very, very important. Don't say he doesn't have to learn, he should learn. Wallahi, that's a gift. That's a gift you give to your kid. And that does not require you to have a PhD or to be someone who's well educated to teach your kid how to speak your language. Just speak to him. Something simple and easy. Very, very, very simple. Speak to him. When he's talking to you, he's not able to reply to you in that language, just teach him how to say it. And this way, inshallah, you're going to find him speaking it. And one day in the future, wallahi al-azim, that kid is going to thank you. That kid is going to say, Jazakallahu khair. That kid one day is going to make dua for you. He's living in the States. Tomorrow he may have to move somewhere else. If he speaks that language, that's going to be easy for him to adapt the new way of life and the new way in the culture that they have in that country, because he speaks the language. So this is very, very important. And most importantly, as I said in the beginning, we have to know that different tongues and different languages is a sign, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Rum, that proves the lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah is the Lord of the universe, and that the universe is under the control of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو التواب الرحيم.